Alright, let's rip through history. One man, 2 decades, and a world forever changed. But this time, let's slow down and look closer at the details that shaped the rise and fall of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, a name that echoes through the darkest chapters of the 20th century. His rise was not sudden, but a slow, calculated climb. How did a failed artist become the architect of so much destruction? Born in Austria in 1889, young Hitler dreamed of being an artist. He applied to art school in Vienna, but was rejected, twice. Spoiler, he wasn't very good and the rejection stung. After rejection, he drifted through Vienna, living in shelters and growing increasingly bitter. The city's diversity and poverty fueled his prejudices and shaped his worldview. World War I gave him purpose and a uniform. He served as a messenger, was wounded, and decorated for bravery. But the real war was inside him, as he struggled to find meaning in a defeated Germany. Post-war Germany was chaos. The Weimar Republic was weak, hyperinflation wiped out savings, and political violence was everywhere. People were desperate for answers. Enter Hitler, angry, persuasive, and ready to blame others for Germany's problems. He found his voice in the Nazi Party, a fringe group at first, but one that would soon grow. Through fiery speeches and relentless propaganda, Hitler rallied support. The failed beer hall putsch in 1923 landed him in prison, but it also gave him time to write Mein Kampf, his blueprint for power. By 1933, Hitler had clawed his way to the top. Appointed Chancellor of Germany, he quickly moved to consolidate power, using fear and spectacle to win over the masses. Democracy was dismantled, rivals were crushed, the Gestapo silenced dissent. If you disagreed, you disappeared, sometimes forever. Overnight, Hitler became Führer, the undisputed dictator. His word was law and the world watched in fear and fascination. Then came the horrors, the Holocaust. 6 million Jews and millions of others were murdered in the name of a twisted ideology. Archival footage shows the faces of victims and the scale of the tragedy. Hitler's vision of racial purity brought devastation across Europe. Cities were reduced to rubble, and millions were displaced. In 1939, Hitler launched World War II with the invasion of Poland. Blitzkrieg tactics, tanks, planes, and shock overwhelmed Europe. Country after country fell. At first, Hitler looked unstoppable. His armies swept across the continent and his power seemed absolute. But hubris is a dangerous thing. Hitler's ambitions grew, and so did his enemies. In 1941, Hitler made his biggest mistake, invading the Soviet Union. The Eastern Front became a nightmare of mud, snow, and endless casualties. The war dragged on. The Allies pushed back. Bombs rained on Berlin, and Hitler's dreams of empire crumbled before his eyes. April 1945. Red Army soldiers closed in. In a bunker beneath a shattered Berlin, Hitler realized it was all over. The city above was in ruins, and his regime was finished. He married Eva Braun, then took his own life the next day. The Third Reich died with him, leaving a world forever scarred. Hitler's life is a warning, a story of how hate, manipulation, and unchecked power can destroy millions. The world responded with justice at Nuremberg and memorials to the victims. Remembering isn't just about the past. It's about making sure it never happens again. We honor the victims by learning, teaching, and standing up to hate. Thanks for sticking around for this extended journey through history. If you want to see more stories that shaped our world, don't forget to hit subscribe, and remember, history's lessons are always worth revisiting.